What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. It's been a week. But we're gonna
For
talk
some of
about
us.
why Kyle was had boots on the ground at CinemaCon. So, that's what we're here to talk about today. That's why there wasn't an episode last week. I'm very tired this morning, and if I end this episode abruptly, it's because I'm getting a massage after this. So I'm gonna
That
skedaddle on
sounds
out of here in
incredible.
about an hour. So really, this episode, I guess before we get into anything, my patrons can make care and help us get some merch, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Before we get, well, really what we're just going to talk about today is just CinemaCon, and then we'll just kind of see where the convo flows from there. I heard a lot of things. Kyle's told me some things. He's got notes, so I'm just going to let Kyle take it away here. Kyle, how was your trip? You didn't take me. What the heck?
Yeah, buddy. That was a dream of ours for years, is to go to CinemaCon. So this is my second time able to go to CinemaCon
Nice.
just because of work. I didn't go because of movie meals, so
Yeah,
it
this
was a
isn't the
mixture for
job.
me of like presentations from the studios and then work related stuff, meetings and whatever that I won't discuss on the channel, obviously, because that's just the work side of things, and it's not very interesting anyway. The presentations are better for the channel and are more interesting stuff that I think people care about.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this was just a dream of ours for years to go together. Hopefully, we can do that as movie meals one of these days. That would be
But it's up to
awesome.
you
Because
guys.
hey,
It's also up to us
subscribe.
because the people, the people who make this a living work very hard to post videos daily almost, and
Yeah, yeah.
we don't because we're not getting paid, so we don't care as much. But that's just us. It's just part of the game.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I still wish that you were there with me because I
Oh,
think that there's a
thanks.
lot of stuff um, about the whole event that you would have really enjoyed and would have appreciated seeing. So yeah, like I said, second time that I've been to CinemaCon. The first time was the year after COVID, so this year was definitely had a lot more people and a lot more of a lighthearted, not lighthearted, but just a happier spirit, just due to the state of the industry, like getting back to somewhat normalcy as compared to the dark cloud that's hanging over everyone's head post COVID with all the uncertainty going on. And yeah, it just showed from the presentations down to the people that were buzzing after like every presentation and just throughout Caesar's Palace, which is where CinemaCon is held. Um, I guess I'll also mention this just in case if there are viewers that don't really know what CinemaCon is but might be hearing about it. CinemaCon is an event held every year at Caesar's Palace in Vegas where studios present their upcoming theatrical movie slate. They show behind the scenes footage. They show upcoming trailers that have been released to the public yet. There might be a screen or two of movies that they showcase. And like I said, it's a con essentially for movie theater owners, but also journalists and pundits and influencers also show up to spread the word about this stuff, which is why you're probably seeing a lot of headlines about like movie announcements, movie related
Yeah.
announcements, or just hearing about CinemaCon in general. And yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, Alex and I have just heard about this for years because of like pundits and YouTubers that we have followed over the years. Which, by the way, I did see a few like on passing that we grew up watching, which was pretty cool.
Nice. Like who?
I saw Robert Meyer Burnett, who worked
Oh,
with
wow.
Collider, or at least worked with
Yeah.
John Schnepp on like some of their panels and stuff. I think he works with John Campea still. Actually, I haven't been able to watch Campea's show in a minute, so I'm not sure if he's doing his own thing now or what. But I did see him. Um, I saw Jeremy Johns a lot of times. Like that's probably the YouTuber that I saw the most. Weirdly enough, just
Just
every
like
single
sitting in a chair or like.
no, just walking past me, like every hallway, whether it was at
He's
Caesars or even at
stalking
another
you.
hotel. I think when I was just like sightseeing, I kept seeing him on passing. And I swear, as I list these YouTubers, I'm not stalking anyone. I promise.
No, I think Jeremy's stalking you.
I mean,
He must be
he
a
might
big
be a
fan of the
fan.
channel.
He
Yeah, he
might be a
must
fan of the
be.
channel.
Must
Um,
be.
I'm trying to think of who else. I think I saw the TikTok guys. I don't know their names, but the ones that are always like having clips that go
The young
viral because they're
kids,
screaming at each other. I don't know their
the hat
names.
guy and yeah, the other one. Yeah,
Hat's
yeah.
guy
I don't
and
know
the
their
other
name.
guy.
They're like the awesome. It's like the awesome pod or something. The Escape Pod, I think, is what it is. The Escape Pod podcast or something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That
But
was true memory recall. I was not like avoiding, like, oh, he knows that he just. I legitimately don't. I just see the clips.
yeah,
So
no, I just see the clips as well.
yeah,
I don't know their names. That's why I didn't really, I didn't come
you
up to
saw
them at
those
all.
guys. Wow.
Yeah, I think they were the first guys that I really saw where I was like, oh yeah,
Sometimes,
like people like the pundits and the
yeah,
influencers are going to be at this thing, which is
yeah.
such a weird combination of like movie theater owners and like those who are really in the industry versus like
Yeah.
that side of things. It sometimes it felt weird throughout the presentations just
I
because
think
you could see the cheering from like the pundits and stuff on like certain announcements versus like the theater owners that are more chill about everything. So
I think those two kids are us in another timeline. If we had
yes,
put a bigger, harder work ethic when we were actually living together in college, that
I
that's
mean,
our other timeline. Is really sometimes I watch them. I'm like, this is like. I remember these arguments back in the like sitting at IHOP at 3 a.m. because they were open 24 hours. Like
yeah, yeah, for
we
sure,
just didn't
man.
have a microphone. It was posted it fully at the time. But anyway, what
Yeah,
did you see anybody else?
the one that I got really excited for, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not going up and introducing myself to him, was Koi Jandro, who was also from Collider
Oh,
back in
Koi
the
was
day.
there.
Yeah, I did see
Nice.
him. I didn't go up and
Koi's
say hi
awesome.
because he was with someone like eating food or something. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one weirdly was like hit me in the feels just
yeah,
because
yeah.
he was awesome to like be introduced to through like the Collider days, and also he just seems like a really genuinely great guy who has massive interest in art and entertainment, and it's just very influential for people to like read or just
Yeah.
see things differently or just like take everything as it comes and just view it from all aspects and don't just have like a black and white type of output on not just entertainment but also in life. So yeah, I wish I would have said hi to him, but he was busy doing stuff, as was all of the other YouTubers I saw, which was okay. But it was just weird seeing them in person because it was, I see them on my screen all the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
And then you probably follow that up with actors you see on screen all the time that are walking out on stage and stuff, man.
yeah, the you hear over the years we've heard about, all of the showcasing that these studios do at this event and all the actors that show up at this event, and you believe it, but there's a part of you that's also like, was it really like that many actors? And did people really cheer that loud? It is that many actors, and people do cheer that loud. And I'll make sure to go through my notes and point out like which ones really had the biggest pop.
Well, let's
Um,
do it.
yeah, so
Get
I'll start
into
off
it.
with Sony because that was the first night, so probably Monday night.
Sony, Sony, Sony.
It started with a video from Paul Rudd and Jack Black, who probably were on set of the Anaconda remake that's coming out at the end of this year.
I
They were
didn't even know
introducing
they
the
were doing
CEO
that.
of Sony Pictures, Tom Rothman, who gave
Oh
a
wow.
speech about the theatrical business really starting to thrive and get back into a more natural swing of things.
Former
And
CEO of Fox.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. He for the past couple of years, Sony has always seemed like to have opened up the event, and Tom Rothman's always like one of the guys that makes this type of speech of like, "We're coming back. Movie theaters are coming back, and the studios are going to be here." And then, the decisions they make are questionable when it comes to that. But
Oh,
it's to
Sony's
get the
doing a
crowd
better job
pumping.
than WB.
Yeah, that's for sure. At least with Sony, it's like a lot more dedication to theatrical releasing because they don't. It's not like they have a streaming service. They're not trying
Yeah,
that out.
yeah, yeah.
um, so the first thing that I got with notes, they brought out Danny Boyle for introducing the 28 years later trailer. There's a new one that's probably going to come out in a matter of weeks, I suppose. Um,
Sweet.
I actually haven't watched like 28 Days Later. I still need to watch that movie,
Oh,
but the trailer I felt like was pretty intense, similarly to how like the first one opens and
so
it has
good.
an intensity to it. Um, Danny Boyle had like a speech just talking about coming back to it and how exciting that it was. But then he also introduced Nia DaCosta, who is making the 28 years later Bone Temple movie. I believe that's the
It's
subtitle
like
for that
a
movie.
sequel or something, right? Or a pseudo sequel, something like that.
Yeah, pseudo sequel. I think that's coming out at the beginning of 2026. Uh, Nia DaCosta was, she seems very nice. She did a good job presenting that she was going to be directing that movie on stage, said that she was really excited about it and just grew up loving 28 Days Later, the movie. They showed, I believe it was artwork for that project, or at least some behind the scenes stills of that project, but they didn't show any footage or a trailer of that movie. Just only a trailer for Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later. Um,
Okay.
and speaking of
Alex
horror,
Garland wrote this 28 years later
you did. Yep.
Bone Temple movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Speaking of horror, they showed the first trailer for the "I Know What You Did Last Summer" sequel, or I guess kind of reboot. Basically, it's the legacy sequel type of thing, and it feels like a lot of those cliches are going to be happening with this movie as well. They brought back Freddie Prinze Jr. and was it Jennifer Love Hewitt? That might have been the other actress that's from the first movie. And trailer seemed to have been fine. People seem to have liked it, but for myself, I just, didn't find myself caring.
Fair enough.
An interesting movie was A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, starring Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. It's supposed to be a romance love story about two people who go through this mysterious red door while on a trip, and
Been there.
they get to learn about each other more through visions of like their past and like their upbringings and growing up. And it's just supposed to be like a feel good, adult driven, emotional type of love story with like some somewhat sci-fi vibes, but it's mostly just like the filmmaking style of just making it feel like it's a trippy magical adventure sort of thing. I don't know if you remember the Ben Stiller Secret Life of Walter Mitty movie, but it kind of felt like it was trying to echo similar vibes to like
I know the
what that
movie.
trailer was
I
like.
didn't see it because I'm not a big Ben Stiller guy until
Right.
the Severance.
Yeah.
Changed my opinion.
In terms of animation, the only animation project that I remember Sony mentioning was a basketball movie called Goat, which is about a character who is a goat who is trying to be a great basketball player, and it's just an underdog story. Stephen Curry had a video for CinemaCon just saying, "Thanks for attending CinemaCon. Here's my movie." But the animation felt similar to Spider-Verse animation, so Sony is definitely leaning into that style of animation, and it looked good.
Interesting. Sony is the kind of the studio that actually supports anime. They own Crunchyroll and all these
Mhm.
things, and they didn't come out with any big anime stuff, huh?
No, they did mention
Oh,
anime. I'm trying to remember all of the projects, but I think one of
too many
them.
good ones, huh?
Yes, too many good one. I think. Oh shoot, I'm trying to remember the names. Bear with me, guys. I do have notes for this panel, or for all of these panels, but I will probably forget some stuff. I want to say there's a Demon Slayer movie or maybe a My
Yup.
Hero movie coming up.
No, Demon Slayer is ending
Okay.
with movies. They have
Okay.
3
Yeah.
movies. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And
That was the
the
big one
next
that they
movie,
were
I think,
announcing
is
then.
this. Oh
Mhm.
man, that movie's gonna be awesome. Let's get
Is
the
there
Infinity Castle saga going, baby. Come on.
a One Punch Man movie?
I think so. I haven't watched.
That might have been one of them.
I've only seen season 1 of One Punch Man and just kind of never had interest to go back.
Right.
Solo Leveling's kind of the new One Punch Man in a way.
Oh, okay.
In a way. In a
Yeah.
way.
I've heard good
With the
things about
story.
Solo Leveling.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Not a Japanese anime. It's from South Korea.
And let's see. And when it comes to projects that they announced like for the future but didn't show any footage for, they reminded everyone that a Legend of Zelda movie is coming
Yeah.
out. They also announced that Resident Evil with Zach Krieger, who directed the movie Barbarian, is going to be coming soon.
Ooh.
And a Starship Troopers movie that's more faithful to the source material with Neil Blomkamp as the director is also coming.
Neil Blomkamp doing Starship Troopers is interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right, Sony. All right, Sony.
So then, I believe up next from that was Spider-Man related news. So they had the directors of Beyond the Spider-Verse, and
Is it not Phil Lord and Chris Miller?
they are the producers. I believe Phil Lord was the one who came out on stage, but Chris didn't make it, at least for this day. I'll talk more about Phil Lord and Chris Miller on another panel. But the two directors and Phil Lord came on stage, and they, brought everyone at ease, saying that the Spider-Verse movie is coming. It's coming out in, I think, June or July of 2027. They did show a sizzle reel of some of the animation for that movie. And nothing like that gives really context about what's going on. But if you've seen the movie, you can probably have picked up context clues on like some action sequences or like what some dynamics are about to happen. Like there's one where Miles is fighting himself as the Prowler, and it's just like really quick action stuff. The villain of the last movie is still going to be in this movie as well, and he still looks like just as every bit intimidating as in the last movie. I'm spacing on his name. Oh, the Spot. Yeah, the Spot also is going to be a big part of this movie by the looks of things. They seem very excited. They seem like they're getting really creative with like pushing the animation further. I didn't see stuff that could be different, but at the same time, I'm also not an animator, so I have no idea what's the same and what's different, but still look really good, still look very high quality. It's just going to be a longer wait, but there is a release date for it in 2027. And then Spider-Man 4, they announced that the title is Brand New Day. Tom Holland had a video talking to CinemaCon and having that announcement be made. But Daniel Destin Creighton, who is the director of this movie, also came out prior to that, just talking about his love for Spider-Man and his excitement about it. Yep, director of Shang-Chi.
Love it. Love it.
And he was a soft-spoken type of guy, but he did have the crowd's attention the entire time. Like, the crowd was really into just him and his presentation and just him talking about how much he likes Spider-Man.
He was supposed to do this Avengers movie, and then he moved to Spider-Man after they brought the Russos back, right? Or was
actually, yeah, I think you're right.
Movie? He was one of the Avengers movies. He was supposed to do one of the Avengers movies.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I thought he was supposed to do Kang Dynasty, but
yeah, that could be
before it became Doomsday. But anyway, so Sony sounded interesting.
Yeah, and they had everything finalized or coming to an end by announcing the cast of the 4 actors who are going to play the Beatles in what seems to be
great cast.
4 movies, 1 movie per Beatle.
Wild.
They're all tied in together, and they're planning. We'll see, but they're planning on having all 4 of the movies come out throughout the month of April in 2028. That seems a bit bold to me.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't hear that part. So that they want one of those movies to drop a week.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's bold. That's a tall ask.
My guess is each one of these movies is probably going to be about an hour and a half. They're going to shoot everything out once. I bet you you're going to make
2.5.
4 2.5 hour long movies.
Yeah.
Like they're going to shoot all this at once because all the actors are going to be in each other's movies. It's supposed to be like from each Beatles perspective. Who's doing it again? Is it Mangold?
No, it's who directed some of the Bond movies? He was on stage. Gosh, shoot, I'm
some of the Bond movies.
Yeah,
like
very
Spectre
high profile director.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember.
I want to say Danny. I'm thinking of Danny Boyle, but it's not Danny Boyle because he's the 20 years later guy.
Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who it is. Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
Exactly
well,
right.
They had the 4 actors on stage: Mescal, Keoghan, Joseph Quinn, and Harris Dickinson. And they did like the Beatles bow.
Cast.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a cast.
You'll see.
Could you imagine if like, so let's say all 4 of these movies are just incredible. They're just each in their own right, insane. Right. Each actor is truly the lead of. Mm-hmm. And then you get to Oscars coming around and they're that good. And you've got 4 of the same movies nominated and 4 of the 5 best actors are all Beatles. Could you imagine if that happened?
No.
That would be nuts, though. Could you? That would be nuts. That would be nuts.
It
What if
would
then
be a
they're
record.
all,
It
then
would
they're
be a
all
record.
nominated again in supporting because they're in the other movie as a supporting actor.
There's your loophole.
We're gonna get crazy with this, and then whoever plays.
Yeah.
So I did see somebody a tweet I thought was funny that said when this announcement happened, they said they better drop Yoko Ono as like a post-credit scene, like a Thanos from back in the day,
Yep.
coming to destroy everything.
I'll
Making
do
me
it
laugh.
myself.
Could you imagine?
It's gonna be quite interesting if they follow through.
Trust Sam Mendes though; he's made good movies, man, and I
True.
love all four of these actors are great.
Yeah, definitely great actors. I mean, Kyogen as Ringo, come on, that's gonna
If
be.
they all get nominated and then like there's just a battle and Beatles are sweeping Oscars, does Timothy Chalamet just sit back and be like, I put 5 years of my life in a fucking Bob Dylan?
I'll talk to you about this. Disney was the last presentation, but they showed the Bruce Springsteen biopic with Jeremy Allen White
And
as Bruce Springsteen. It looks good, but it felt too similar to A Complete Unknown.
it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's just. I think it's going to. I think they're both similar-esque style singers anyway. Like, it's not like
maybe,
but it's not like you're not. Like Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan are closer than like Queen and Freddie Mercury is to like Bob Dylan. So like they're gonna have a kind of a similar feel where I think a little bit like Elton felt a little bit like the Queen biopic in a way when it first came out. Like everybody was kind of like, all right, I feel like it's gonna kind of be like that.
Good point.
And if it follows suit, that means this one will be better because the Elton biopic was better. And
underrated.
I love Rhapsody.
That movie's too underrated. That was really good.
All right, what else you got, my guy?
So the next day, Neon had a quick panel. I'm not able to remember a lot of what Neon had, only because they didn't show a lot of trailers. They just showed title announcements of things.
Oscars. They're like, here, this title will get us an Academy Award. This title's going to get us an Academy Award. These are the Oscar picks we've got coming up. And you're like, sweet, I love it. And all the pundits are like, where is Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. We had it. Quit yelling.
Spider-Man. Oscars.
The trailers that I do remember is a movie called The Life of Chuck, starring Tom Hiddleston. Mark Hamill's in the movie too.
I've heard good reactions to that.
Very good reactions. Similar to a Big Bold Journey from Sony, in that it feels like a feel-good story. It feels like it's a uplifting one. A little trippy in parts, maybe, but that's just because of the way the trailer's edited. It makes it feel like it's big and it's exciting.
Tremblay's in it. Mia Sara, Kate Siegel.
Yeah, very good. Very good trailer, at least. And by the way, most of what I say here when it comes to trailers and stuff that I've seen, I'm going to say very good, very exciting, great reactions from people. Alex and I have realized that CinemaCon is like film festivals. Like the
hype in the room is going to change it. Yeah,
the hype in the room is just so much. The Coliseum, which is in Caesar's Palace, which is where everyone goes to see the trailers and see the footage and see the stars, is just incredible. Like, the screen is massive, the sound quality is incredible, the visuals have everything like popping at you color-wise, visually stunning picture. I mean, they showed trailers for like the Smurfs, and it looks like the greatest trailer ever. It's not, but literally, it's like that. So take what I say with a grain of salt, fairly, but I do think that the trailer was good. It was a good trailer.
Sweet.
One of the best trailers, I think, from the week was a horror movie that Neon has coming out this summer called Together, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie. The teaser is already out now, but the full trailer is what they showed at CinemaCon. There are like 10 shots that I remember that...
A body horror film?
Practically, yeah.
That's what Google says. I've typed it in.
But there's like 10 shots that I can think of, if not more, that are just so stunning and so memorable that I feel like this movie has a chance to pop during the summer. It's about a couple that's like falling out of love, so they do a getaway trip, but then they become like way too intertwined with each other to the point where like their lips are touching, but there's a shot where like the lips are suddenly like suctioning to each other, so they have to pull away and it hurts, or like there's a shot of them in bed and her hair is somehow like slinking down Dave Franco's throat, and I'm telling you, when the trailer comes out, it's really, really good. It's easily one of my favorite trailers that came out this week.
Ew, oh, there's like little teaser trailers out right now.
The
It's
teaser's
playing on
also
IMDb.
very good.
Ew, it's just kind of playing while I'm sitting here watching. A couple's move to the countryside triggers a supernatural incident that drastically alters their relationship, existence, and physical form. You know I love me some body horror. Oh my gosh, I'm ready.
The final thing that I want to mention from Neon was Chris Stuckman's Shady Oaks. It is coming out later this year.
Yay!
I don't remember details of that movie, so I apologize for that. It's just, again, a long week, so I'm going to miss some things. But I do remember that the quality is very impressive considering this is a crowdfunded project, and it wasn't like Neon had money behind this. They just got the rights to this movie, and they're the ones distributing this movie. So I think for those that are really excited about Stuckman's directorial debut, I think you're going to enjoy it. I feel like it'll be good.
Man, and if it is really good, it's just going to do wonders for him moving forward, which is just awesome.
Totally. Yeah, we've seen that with the Talk to Me directors, right? They have a project from A24 coming out this year with
The difference is though, is those guys have been doing great stuff for years, but they, Chris Stuckman is a legend in like the film community. Those guys kind of came in a different way, so it's really cool for somebody who's just jumped on YouTube in the heydays and was like, I just want to talk about movies because I love them. It's finally getting an opportunity. So,
really,
all right, what else did you see?
Lionsgate was right after Neon. Half of Lionsgate stuff was John Wick related things. So they had They had Ana de Armas and the ballerina director show an action sequence of her fighting for her life, and it involves like breakaway plates. So they also talked about like how fun it was to work on that scene. It just like the breakaway plates are so fragile, so they have to feel like they're hitting people with such force, but yet they're brittled like to the touch practically. So they just gave low details about that, but the scene itself was very entertaining and very cool to watch. They also announced that Donnie Yen is returning as the character of Kane for his own spin-off movie and is directing it as well.
That's cool. Love Donnie Yen.
John Wick anime movie is coming, and they showed some artwork about it. Not footage, but just artwork, and
love it.
The artwork is cool. It could be interesting. I just wonder if, since we have the live action ones, will people care about an animated version? But I guess if it's like as R-rated, they could. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. And then John Wick 5 was confirmed. Chad Stahelski and Keanu Reeves are attached to come back.
Spoiler alert for the end of the last John Wick movie. For anyone who hasn't seen it, he dies. So how are we doing this?
I don't know. They didn't say. They didn't give a reason.
But it is but they did say it's a sequel.
Yeah, John Wick 5, yeah.
Interesting. We're going to get 10 of these. John Wick's about to become like Fast and Furious. It's going to be like 2 John, 2 Wick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, there's a title. 2 John, 2 Wick.
Write it down. It's
actually a wicked mashup of the universes. And she's like, it's me. And she's about to defy gravity. And then John shoots the Wicked Witch in the head. With like a rubber band gun.
This is golden.
John Wick 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all awesome. All 4 of them are great.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not Fast and Furious where you get to one and you're like, okay, the first one's kind of fun, second one's like it's not as good, but like it has some fun, and then there's
quality,
like then you get to they keep doing it, and then eventually you get to 5, and you're like, oh, 5's really good. And then you get to another couple, and you're like, all right, these are not getting as good anymore. It's like John Wick has only done nothing but awesome movies.
Yeah. Really, though.
I just watched Keanu Reeves' Speed for the first time ever. I had never seen it.
Oh, okay.
Loved it. I was like, get this man a gun. That's what I just kept thinking. John Wick's so good. I'm tired. All right, what else did you see? We're running out of time before I got to skedaddle. Not running out of time, about halfway over.
Yeah, I'll try to go a lot faster. There's a lot to cover. Director Francis Lawrence, who directs most of the Hunger Games movie, came out on stage. He mentioned that he is going to direct the next Hunger Games movie. It's the Haymitch movie, I believe. Like the book's already out.
The books just came out.
Yeah, they're gonna start production on it this summer. He sounds
I've heard
excited.
the book is darker. I've heard it's the darkest of any Hunger Games movie written. I heard that from my source, Annie Essays, who told me that yesterday on the phone. Go check out his anime channel.
Okay. I'm sure he's right. I'm sure he's right. He reads books. I don't. These are just for show.
Yeah.
But also, Francis Lawrence has another movie coming out in the fall. It's a Stephen King adaptation called The Long Walk. He also brought out David Johnson, who I believe is the actor from Alien Romulus. And he also brought out Mark Hamill, who is playing the villain role in the movie. This also was probably one of my favorite trailers coming out of this. It looks like a very intense movie. From what I could gather from the trailer, it is about a bunch of young men, like in their 20s, who are forced to do like this long walk. And basically, you just keep walking until you fall down. If you fall down, the military shoots you dead right on the spot.
Yeah.
So it's a very intense drama thriller. Mark Hamill is playing the bad guy who is in charge of the whole thing. He looks like he's having a great time with this role.
Good for Mark.
Very good trailer.
I heard this was one of the trailers that popped, and it's a really interesting idea from Stephen King.
Yeah, I'm very interested by that one. Next thing they showed was Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which is the third Now You See Me movie. It looks like it's going to... they showed the first trailer for it. It looks like it's bringing back the 4 original horsemen from the first movie, but they also bring in 3 new upcoming magicians, so just like younger magicians for them to train to also become magician thieves or whatever. It also kind of felt like the Legacy sequel type of thing that we've been seeing over the years, similar to what I said about I Know What You Did last summer. Ruben Fleischer showed the trailer for that. He's the director for this third one. I don't know. That's all I really had about it. I wasn't very interested in it.
No, he didn't. Interesting. Go ahead. What's next?
The final thing that I was able to see from Lionsgate was The Housemaid, which is a book adaptation, and Paul Feig is the director, and he also brought out Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried.
And then Kyle just stopped writing notes. He stopped paying attention. He was just sitting there like Sydney Sweeney. Oh my goodness.
Lockjaw, Jaw Drop. Yeah, it was there was a lot of stars. That one got me.
Well,
she's beautiful. Yeah.
There's a lot of men I think it would fold, my guy. So I get it.
After that, there was still more of the presentation, but I did have to duck out of the Lionsgate presentation to go to a meeting that I had. But from what I've heard, like The Weeknd came out to perform, and it would have been awesome to see because he has a movie coming out next month. I heard it was awesome.
Show.
What was that?
I hope it's better than that show he was on HBO. Oh my God.
I think The Weeknd is great at performing music, so I think it's good. I think it was good.
All right, what else you got?
Later that day was the Warner Bros. Presentation, which was also another one that I had to duck out of in the middle of it. Yeah, so I will say that I missed out on seeing F1, which I heard they showed like the first 10 minutes of, and it was awesome.
The movie's getting a lot of praise.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that movie. I want to see that on IMAX for sure. I heard that Bill Hader came out on stage and he was like shocked and intimidated by the amount of people that were there. He didn't realize how many people were going to be at this event. So he was like really funny, but also kind of shy being on stage. And he was presenting kind of like a Cat in a Hat movie or something like that. Like a Dr. Seuss movie.
Oh. One fish, too many fish.
And then the final thing they showed was the sizzle reel and like the exclusive scene that they had for Superman. And I think everyone's probably heard about this right now. It's what's now currently online. Like they released it the next day.
So that is what you saw. You didn't see anything different. Yep. What's interesting about
what everyone else saw and described to me. I didn't see this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. So what's interesting about the Superman sneak peek is it's pretty much just an extra few seconds of every scene from the first trailer, except the very, very first scene is quite a bit longer. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
they add one extra new scene of the sun hitting them with the robots and actually seeing the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Every
Yeah.
other scene, it was like an extra second of something.
Yeah.
And we can break that down later. Let's get to the rest of your CinemaCon stuff because I'd rather talk more about what you got to enjoy and all the other things you saw than
Mm-hmm.
deep dive into soups right now.
Yeah. For Warner Bros, they brought out Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, and Regina Hall for the Paul Thomas Anderson movie One Battle After
Oh,
Another.
it's gonna be
They
good.
showed a scene from the movie where Leo is like spiraling as the main character, like he's on the phone with someone trying to find a way to get his daughter back. But he doesn't remember like a certain passcode for it, and he's like yelling at the guy on the phone next to him. The guy's like, "Please stop yelling at me!" Like the poor guy's like crying as Leo's like cussing and chewing him out. And Benicio del Toro plays like the cool and even keeled right hand man to Leo, and he also seems like he's gonna play a great supporting role for Leo. So yeah, just a showcase of Leo because he's great at playing like spiraling out of control maniac characters. They brought out Mickey Gyllenhaal and Jesse Buckley for The Bride, which is an adaptation of Bride of Frankenstein. Megan Gyllenhaal is the director and writer of this movie. Jesse Buckley plays the bride. Gyllenhaal did okay when it comes to selling the movie and talking about the movie. Like it kind of felt like the room wasn't all into her on stage, unfortunately, but the trailer itself was a very big surprise. I was impressed by it. It was just loud and it felt punk and gothic and it was in your face.
Ooh.
And it showcases crazy performances from Jesse Buckley as the bride and Christian Bale as Frankenstein. Like it's going to be a lovers at war, Bonnie and Clyde type of approach to that story. But like I said, gothic punk in your face. For how calm and collected Maggie was, the fact that she did this as a director is just very impressive.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see him in the movie unless if I
Little
missed
bro's
that.
in, huh? Or big bro? I think he's little bro.
And the last thing that I remember seeing was a scene from Final Destination Bloodlines where it shows two brothers in the hospital, and I guess one of them is giving himself like an allergic reaction to peanuts because I guess for the story they have to die and come back to life somehow so they don't die more. I don't know. What was that?
I've never seen any of the Final Destination movies. I
Yeah,
tried.
same with me. I
Over
just don't.
Halloween, I was like, let me see what this franchise is all about, and I got
Mhm.
about 5 minutes in, and I remember thinking, like, I thought the first movie was supposed to be like somewhat kind of good, and then they get really bad as it goes on, but this is really bad. And then I realized I was watching like the fifth movie.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm not going back now." And I never even got past that opening scene. I was like, "This is bad."
Well, in this scene, this scene had like one of the biggest reactions throughout the week, in my opinion, because of just the amount of gore and like. Let me explain what it is. So one of the brothers gets his allergy active, so he's like swelling and he's on the floor. But something happens where one of them like bumps and activates like one of those giant screening machines, which I guess if they power up too much, they cause like a large amount of magneticity or whatever the word is called.
Kyle,
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or
You don't need
not.
to explain the plot of Final Destination. Let's move on.
It was a really good
too much
scene. The
time
guy
here.
got mutilated in two. It was cool. It was cool.
Let's
I don't know if
reel
the
it
movie's
back
good.
for a quick second. Jesse
All right.
Buckley is in Men, and Men is really freaking good. And I didn't realize that was the same person. I didn't know that actress's name till I was looking it up. That's awesome. That sells me even more on this Bride movie because she is amazing in Men.
Do you want me to talk at all about Angel Studios? They had a small panel.
Well, do I know the movie?
No. You're not gonna
What's
know.
it called?
Well, they haven't like announced any of these movies to the public as well that I can think of.
Oh, anything seem good?
Angel Studios are the ones that made the Sound of Freedom movie, or at least like distributed the Sound of Freedom movie.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know
Move
them?
on.
So
Yeah, we don't
okay.
need crazy wackadoodles.
I will say none of their movies look like crazy wackadoodle, but they are like faith-based related movies. So they're gonna stick around for that market for sure.
Was the Bible Lego movie in there?
Uh, a a Bible movie where oh, what is it? Charles Dickens tells the story of Jesus, I think. I think
Charles
that's one of
Dickens
the
wrote the
movies they have
Bible.
coming out. It's like, but the cast in that is crazy. It has like Ben Mendelsohn and Oscar Isaac and like Forrest Whitaker. I don't know. I don't know how that. I know. I don't know how they're doing
Okay,
it.
what's the name of this movie? Let me look it up.
That one is. I
have
think
to
that
know.
one is called King of Canes, if I remember
King
correctly.
of Kings, 2025 movie. Oh, it's an animated project.
But that's the
That
thing
makes
about
more sense, though. I didn't hear you say it was animated. At first, I was like,
Right.
okay, it makes a little more sense.
But even still, like the projects that they have coming out, they actually have like well-known names. It's not like names that are usually attached to faith-based projects. They have like actors, known actors, like with stuff coming out. Like Sam Worthington's going to be in a movie like in Christmas called like Zero AD or something like that.
The story of our Lord Jesus Christ as told by Charles Dickens and seen through the innocent eyes of a child. This doesn't bother me as much. This doesn't
No,
bother me.
yeah, they're not. I don't feel like they're coming out with movies that are like as troubling as like what we've heard about Sound of Freedom. I could be
The
wrong.
guy who wrote it wrote Treasure Planet and The Princess and the Frog.
Ooh.
And Captain America Brave New World. Why'd you say,
Hey,
ooh,
we all need
Treasure
a
Planet's
paycheck.
amazing?
Why did I say what?
You said, ooh, isn't Princess and the Frog good?
No, it's good. It's just weird that he wrote that movie. I did not
And
expect
Treasure
that.
Planet.
Yeah.
He also wrote Brave New World.
Okay, let me move on then, because we still have some meteor stuff to go through, and it's like 40 minutes in. I'm sorry that this is taking so long.
I'm not leaving. One of the writers, another one of the writers of this Bible movie was the casting director for Young Justice
Oh, really?
and Gargoyles.
No wonder it was good. Well, no wonder the casting's impressive.
Anyway, now move on.
Okay. I actually did. That was really funny. The next day was basically Universal Day. Universal had the morning to themselves, showing the How to Train Your Dragon live action
And they
remake.
just opened up a huge like new part of their studio, didn't they? Because they had a bunch of influencers and stuff down there with like all these animatronics at
I have no idea about that.
At like Universal Studio, like the amusement park. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I just have no idea what you're referring to.
No, they did.
They
They just opened up like a huge section of their park. I saw some stuff of Toothless, an animatronic Toothless that looked incredible, really realistic, and looked really like adorable, really cool. But anyway,
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure yet if I can talk about the movie. So I think
So
I'll
you
hold
did
off
see
on
it. You saw it.
I saw it.
You saw the movie.
I
Did you see any other movies? Was that the only full movie you saw?
It was the only one. It was the only movie they showed, or that any studio showed.
Okay,
in full entirety.
me.
But Gerard Butler was one of the three people that came on stage for presenting that, and as well as announcing How to Train Your Dragon live action remake 2. And Gerard was awesome on stage. Like, that guy's charismatic as hell.
So you don't know if you can talk about it, huh? They didn't tell you anything?
No, I mean, maybe they told like actual journalists, but I have no idea how much I can speak about this movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Can you give us a thumbs up? I don't want to get you in trouble, but can you give us like I liked it, like pretty good, surprisingly, okay, bad? Nobody watches us this deep into our channel. Come on.
If you like
No. You. I want you. I want your thumb.
Yeah, well, here, I'll give you the thumb. And
Let's go.
I'll just say, if you like the original,
You'll like this.
you'll like this.
Well, Let's go.
Yeah.
If we get struck with a lawsuit, we're sorry. I
Also,
wasn't
sorry to
there.
my work.
Sue Kyle. Wasn't invited.
Anyway, so yeah, the morning was the movie, and then the afternoon was their presentation. So Gerard Butler was there, and he was very charismatic, and it was great. Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali went on stage to talk about the Jurassic World Rebirth movie, and they showed the next trailer for it. And basically, their banter was just like, "We like dinosaurs, and it's exciting to be in this movie." And Scarlett Johansson did have a big pop from the audiences, and Mahershala Ali is charismatic as hell as well.
I believe it.
Some actors are not charismatic, but there's definitely the ones where you're like, "This guy's the guy." He's. Really,
I know you still have more to talk about, but I have to tell this story because you're just talking about all these stars and stuff.
Sure.
Like I love that Kyle gets to do this. Like, I am truly not jealous of him. Like, I'd love to be a part of that world. Like, I'd love for the channel to explode and this be our full time. But I get all that stuff I get. But I didn't talk to Kyle for like 4 days, 3 days straight because I knew he's working, he's doing a lot, and finally he sent something in one of our chats. So I was like, all right, I think I'll just text him, I miss him or whatever. Then we start talking because his week's kind of over. And he's telling me all these cool things he's doing. And I'm not even kidding you. I was just trying to send a message during like downtime in my classroom. Like, this is supposed to be like I can quickly look at my phone and do something or I can get something done. And I'm not even kidding. I had 5 kids just scream their heads off, not following directions, getting in trouble. And I was just sitting there and I'm like looking at my phone and Kyle's like, yeah, Sydney Sweeney is incredibly beautiful. Like I saw Tom Cruise, I saw Mahershala Ali, I saw Scarlett Johansson, and I truly, for one moment, was like, "This guy sucks. I want him. I want his life. Okay, I just want to kill him. I want to be there. I'm a 5-year-old screaming, sit in your chair. Just sit down."
I would have been in your position, buddy, but you're doing the Lord's work, man. You are doing way more important things than I was doing. Trust me on this one.
The Lord's work is told by Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens is telling your story, Al. That's how you tell the story of Jesus.
That's how you tell the story of Al. Okay.
Anyway, the next Jurassic World trailer will feel similar to the first one. I'm sorry to say, it looks good. Quality looks good. It's just people have seen our trailer reaction. It's the same thing. It would feel like.
Well, if you're back to the first Jurassic World, at least you're in the right direction, because that's the fun one of all the movies they've made.
I more meant the trailer itself. It feels similar to the first trailer.
Fair enough.
2 interesting horror trailers that I'm very curious by. I'll get this one out of the way first. The Black Phone has a sequel coming out this year. It has the lead actor Mason Timms. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And the return of Ethan Hawke, whose character is dead, but they're communicating through each other through a phone book. It's still dealing with like using the phone premise as like talking to the dead. But the trailer for this did not feel like as traditionally of a linear story as compared to like what the first one was. This trailer was like darker and felt like more of like a mind bender type of movie. It felt like more of a crime thriller. Very, very interesting. I'm curious if that's like what the actual movie will kind of feel like, or if it's just a really well put together trailer. Another one was a football horror movie that's produced by Jordan Peele called
A lot of buzz
Him.
around this. And it
was very good.
I think a lot of people, I love what Kyle just said there, because I've seen a lot of people say, like, this is Jordan Peele's new movie. Jordan Peele produced it.
He produced it. Monkey Bob Productions produced it.
Yep. And we love all that. We love his hand in the pot.
Yeah.
But he is not the director of it. And I think a lot of people are clickbaiting here and ain't about that.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
One of the actors on stage was Marlon Wayans. Very entertaining, very funny, obviously. But his role in the movie is like a trainer that takes things too far. It seems like a very different role for like, honestly, any Wayans brother to be doing. So it was very cool. Is he the trainer?
I've heard multiple people say that he's playing like the aging quarterback star.
Oh,
not
I
that
didn't get
he's
that.
a trainer. And I pulled up IMDb, and that's what it says as well. A promising young football player joins an isolated compound to train under a dynasty team's aging quarterback.
Oh, well, yeah, I assumed he was like an aging trainer that was once a quarterback or a football player. So,
So either, yeah, so
okay,
yeah,
so
probably
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Think Foxcatcher, but with more of a horror element and
Oh man,
louder.
Foxcatcher's
Yeah.
so good. Whatever happened to him? The director of Foxcatcher hasn't made a movie in like 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with
That's
that.
crazy. Maybe he's with Daniel Day-Lewis making shoes.
So there was a lot of Blumhouse stuff that, well, not a lot, but there was a few Blumhouse announcements that came from Jason Blum himself. He came out in like a Five Nights at Freddy animatronic costume. Uh, Very entertaining guy, clearly. He confirmed that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is going to be theatrical only.
Good. It's gonna make a ton of money. Look at what
It'll make a
Minecraft
ton
is
of
doing.
money. Honestly, the trailer was unmemorable for me, but I also just don't care about this
Yeah,
franchise. So
yeah,
take
yeah.
what I say with a grain of salt. There's stuff out there talking about it anyway. Uh, Megan has a sequel coming out. There was a dance number with a bunch of women dressed up as Megan, like doing flips on stage and doing a dance number
Cool.
to Britney Spears or something like that. Trailer feels like it's jumping over the shark or jumping the shark just a tad bit. I like the first Megan movie, but I don't know. I don't know if this
That's
one
what
is
horror does,
pushing it.
baby.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. And then they showed a movie adjacent to Megan called Soulmate, which is similar to that movie Companion with Jack Quaid that came out earlier this year. It's about a sex robot that is like too in love with the guy that like activates her, and she's trying to kill a girl that he winds up falling in love with. Just like a revenge uh, type of action horror movie.
It's called Soulmates.
Yes,
Oh, I can't find it on the
with the
Googles.
number 8. It might be coming out next
Oh,
year.
with the number 8.
Yeah, try that. While Alex is looking that up, they showed the trailer for The Bad Guys 2. If people like the first one, they'll probably like the second one. I just don't really have much to say about it. Nobody starring Bob Odenkirk now has a sequel for it that's coming out later this year, I believe, if not next year. Bob Odenkirk looks great with like him doing action, but for some reason the vibe and the action sequences felt tamer to me compared to the original movie. I think they have a different director on this compared to the first movie. It's great that this is getting like a sequel and a theatrical treatment at all, because the first one had to deal with, COVID stuff and coming out of pandemic sort of things. But I don't know. I just didn't get excited because I really liked the first movie, but this sequel just didn't do it for me. Um, they showed stuff from Focus Features because Focus Features is a part of Universal Pictures. So they showed the Phoenician Scheme, which is the next Wes Anderson movie with Benicio del Toro in the lead role. If you like Wes Anderson, it's very Wes Anderson-y, looks very well done. They showed a 30-second teaser of Begonia, which is the next Yorgos Lanthimos movie, stars Jesse Plemons, and of course Emma Stone is involved in it somehow. There wasn't really much context for me to put for the movie other than that it's about bees. That's all I got.
The bees.
And I think they mentioned that there is a Daniel Day-Lewis movie coming out with his son writing and directing the movie.
Yeah.
But they didn't show anything for it.
Yeah, because that just got announced not that long ago that they were
Right.
even doing that. So
Right.
that makes sense.
The finale for Universal was a big number for Wicked Part 2. John M. Chu, Cynthia Erivo, and Ariana Grande came out on stage. They thanked movie theaters for helping this movie do as well as successfully as it was. It had like the biggest claps and reactions from the audience. They did show the trailer for Wicked Part 2. I think it's going to be very exciting for people. They showed stuff like Dorothy being involved. A lot of this might be stuff that's already been written and people have read, so I'm sorry if I am repeating myself, but yeah, the Grande and Erivo are going to sing a song in that movie called For Good, and it's really good, and yeah, big reaction. Oh, and Universal did have a live orchestra throughout the whole thing, so they started the presentation with this melody of iconic movie scores that they've had throughout the years, and then they played some of the themes of songs from like movies as people were coming and going on stage. So that was also a nice touch. Uh,
All right. What
later
else you
that
got?
I got 3 more studios. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to do a part
Rattle
2
them
of
off
this?
quick, baby. Rattle them off
Oh
quick.
boy. Okay, so
Speed round.
Amazon and MGM.
Ew.
They I'll say this. It seems like they're not having many things to get to showcase for 2025. I think 2026 is more of their year because a lot of their stuff that they really exclusively showed was stuff that's coming out the next year. So it's more like they have plans in the future, but not really anything worth showing this year. They
Okay.
started with Project Hail Mary. I think a lot of people have heard about
Stop.
this.
I've read the book.
The book,
This movie's gonna make a ton of money.
the special effects for it's a sci-fi comedy adventure movie. Feels post apocalyptic to a sense, but in like a 2020 type of you know life. It's thematic to like the times that we're kind of going
It's
in
about
right
the
now.
world is about to end. They got to
Yeah,
send an astronaut off to
yeah.
save
And
the
Ryan
day. That's what
Gosling
the movie's
plays
about.
modest teacher turned comedic hero turned comedic astronaut.
He's perfect pick.
Chris Miller and Phil Lord came out on stage. Ryan Gosling came out on stage. Obviously, biggest reactions came from Ryan Gosling, who was awesome on stage. Especially the sci-fi space scenes looked great.
And did they show scenes or a trailer?
Trailer, full trailer.
Kyle, I'm gonna do slight spoilers for the book right now. Did they show anybody but Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, they showed Sandra Hüller.
As the scientist, like lady girl. Okay,
Yeah, she's in charge
but
of
was
things.
any other character?
They teased life. They teased an alien.
They teased Rocky. Let's go!
Yeah,
I would die for that alien. Are you kidding me?
they didn't show him. They didn't show any sort of dynamic, but they teased that that's coming.
Did they show the body? Because the way the body looks is going to be interesting.
Only a shot of a hand.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
got a lot of them.
Again,
That's awesome.
Very
Project Hail Mary. Look, I don't get hyped by books.
Mm-hmm.
I told Autumn the other day when I'm doing my long drive this summer, I think I'm going to reread it, re-listen to it on audio because I love that book.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, sorry, speed round, but I'll stop the speed round for Project.
That's all right. They showed behind the scenes stuff for the He-Man movie. Travis Knight is the director of the movie. I was very surprised by how faithful this seems like they're going with He-Man, and due to like the costume designs, the set designs, the artwork that they showed for behind the scenes stuff. Like it's 80s colors. It feels like it's going to be live action from the cartoon. We'll see how it goes. Weirdly, it had like a lot of people hyped. I heard a lot of like cheering.
Yeah, a lot of hunks in the crowd.
Probably from that's yeah. But again, like influencers and pundits now are like much younger. I wouldn't think that they cared about He-Man, but I don't know. What do I know?
This is the longest speed round of my life.
I know. I'm sorry.
Now I do got to speed you up. Come on. I want super fast. Rattle off everything else you saw. Good, meh, bad. Go.
One of the best trailers that I saw was a movie called Is God Is. It's about two twins that fulfill their dying mother's wish to kill their father. And it feels like it's a mixture of Afro-punk, spaghetti western, drama thriller, action movie. Maybe a bit of Tarantino in the mix as well. It kind of felt like that. Chris Pratt was on stage, did a great bit for his sci-fi thriller where he's strapped to a chair. And he has to go through his memories to prove his innocence about murdering his wife. Trailer was good, but Chris Pratt was like a highlight for people when it comes to like the bit that he was doing where he was strapped to the chair on stage and he had to prove like he loved movie theaters or something like that. So those were like the most exciting parts of that presentation. Paramount did a stunt show with electric bikes to like the theme of Mission Impossible. Like they were doing flips on stage with ramps and they were just driving throughout all of the Coliseum. A lot of fun. They briefly announced Sonic 4 and TMNT 2 sequels are coming in the pipeline. They announced that the Last Airbender movie is called The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. The South Park Kendrick Lamar movie, they didn't show anything for it, but it is coming out to theaters early 2026. The biggest highlights were the Running Man trailer, which is the remake of the original Running Man from Edgar Wright. Glenn Powell's in the lead role. Coleman Domingo plays the announcer for like the show, because it's again, post-apocalyptic world, kind of like Hunger Games, but you have to like run throughout city to survive until you win money. Glenn Powell is a blast. He's both funny and like the action hero, and Coleman Domingo is so entertaining. He's going to be awesome in the movie. The Naked Gun trailer, that had like the biggest laughs out of anything in CinemaCon. Just a very funny trailer, but it's out right now. You can go watch that trailer. I won't get into it because yeah, exactly. It's that you'll be able to see it. The final thing was Mission Impossible 8, where first he gave a dedication to Val Kilmer in a moment of silence due to his passing like a few days ago. And then he gave a speech and gave the Director of the Year award, which is a thing CinemaCon does, I guess, to Christopher McQuarrie, where Christopher McQuarrie also, they both shared just their experiences working together and how they found each other, met up, connected, and like all of the work that they've done from like Ghost Protocol onward. You could just tell those two dudes are like tied to the hip and they love each other, if we didn't already know that already. And then they showed the next trailer for Mission Impossible, which is good, had a pop, but it does feel like it's edited and has a similar... It shows similar things from the first trailer, and it also pays homages to like the last movies as well. Shows clips of like the last movies. I don't know. Well, I think the marketing going forward is a bit weird of a choice for like what they're showing, but you know, it's Mission Impossible. I have faith. It's going to be very entertaining. And now finally we're at Disney, which is what ended everything.
Speed running.
Nothing mentioned about Star Wars or future Pixar projects, and no mention of live action remakes, which I found very interesting.
No, I think they're done. I think they don't want to continue with it.
I think so.
I think Snow White has changed. I think the last few they've just slowly.
Yeah, they make decent money, but they're not exciting people anymore.
They went from box office smashes to and now flops.
So, yeah, in their terms, yes.
Did Snow White make money?
I know that it opened to $50 million. I have no idea what it's doing now.
Oh, okay.
Well, speaking of remakes, they showed Lilo and Stitch.
One more live action remake. Okay,
all right, we got one more.
That looks fun. No, it's a little alien. I like him.
I just don't think the filmmaking of this looks particularly good. But the little girl that plays Lilo, what was that?
You were a PBS kid. You
were a PBS kid. Yeah, I definitely didn't grow up with Lilo and Stitch. That was no. The girl who plays Lilo is very cute. But they were just mostly showing like Disney was showing that their marketing is Stitch like doing crazy stuff with like other Disney movies that they have coming out. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? They showed the first trailer for Freakier Friday, and they had Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis out on stage. Jamie Lee Curtis obviously was magnetic. The trailer doesn't look good to me.
It looks what we expect.
They did say that this movie was made for the big screen. I call phooey on that one, but you know, they got to say things to say things. You know, I get it. Zoe Saldana came out for the upcoming Pixar movie Elio because she has a voice role in that. And she also came out on stage for showing Avatar 3. Elio looks cute. Animation looks very good. They showed it in 3D, and the 3D looks very good as well. Ke Huy Quan came out for Zootopia 2 since he voices a character named Gary in the movie. He was very charming, and he was very pleasant to talk and listen to. He seems very excited for the movie. The two scenes were good, but it didn't do anything for me personally. Tron Ares, the trailer is out for it now, so if you see that trailer, that's what they showed during CinemaCon. It was weird seeing Jared Leto and Jeff Bridges be on stage together. It's just an odd combination. And
they're in the first movie together. They're in Tron Legacy together.
Well, yeah, I know, but just they're from two different worlds in my opinion. Jared Leto and Jeff Bridges, just an odd combo.
Cult leader, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, they did fine together. Elle Fanning gushed about Predator Badlands. She was out on stage for it. They showed the first trailer for it. This was one of my favorite trailers It looks good. It is the director from Prey coming back to do another Predator movie. This one feels like it's a Predator that is playing like a cowboy hero role, teaming up with Elle Fanning. Action looks great. Special effects look great. The Predator looks awesome. Emma
Love it.
Mackey from Sex Education and Jamie Lee Curtis is back on stage. They present an award to the director of a movie called Ella McKay. The director is James L. Brooks. On top of like Brooks's getting the award, he also had a quick speech, and he was advocating for movie theaters for the studios to agree to a more strict 45-day theatrical window, which was like one of the biggest applauses from the audience, because it is all movie theater owners who are tired of these loose theatrical windowing rules and want a stricter, longer theatrical window for their movies.
Good.
So that was great.
All right. I've got to make you end on the last big. You get one Disney thing left if you've got more than one, because I do have to go.
It is obviously Avatar 3. That was what they ended on. They had 3D glasses for the 3D. I don't know if the special effects are quite done yet, but they're pretty darn close. It still looks very impressive. It was just at such a high frame rate, and with the effects not feeling quite finished, it was a bit off-putting to watch, but it's obviously going to be really cool to watch in theaters.
Nice.
And it was like air battle type stuff that they were showing.
You had a heck of a time, my guy.
Yes.
So, guys, what did you think of everything? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.